Hi everyone, thanks for joining me again. Today we're going to have a look at another LangGraph project, and this time we're going to be working with a RAG project, retrieval augmented generation application. And in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to load in a bunch of PDF data. We can talk a little bit about what sort of data, and then we're going to do some research on this vector database and then hopefully come back with some questions. So let's have a quick look at the use case and sort of what we're going to do here. So in a past life, I used to work for Doctors Without Borders, and at Doctors Without Borders and in humanitarian and development work in general, there's a lot of reporting. There's a lot of data that is produced and quantitative data in regards to sort of what their work is doing around the world, because quite often they're funded from external actors and people like you and me as well, who may or may not donate. They do these evaluations both for their donors, but to make sure that sort of they're on the right track. And there's lots of different data. So I thought this would be a fun use case. So what I've done is I've downloaded a bunch of PDFs. I can move those over here. There's not that many of them, maybe like 20 or so PDFs that look like this, for example. So a bunch of text. There's some tables, probably some pictures and some sort of infographics like this. So a bunch of different stuff. And I'm not going to talk so much about, clean this thing, it's a bit blurry. I'm not going to talk so much about how we store the data, but I can show a quick overview of what we're doing. So we have these PDFs, we pass them to something called Llama Index or Llama Pass. And this is an API that I use to sort of turn the PDFs into structured data. Then we chunk up that data, so we slice it into chunks. In this case, it's chunks of 1,000 tokens with 100 tokens overlap. We can discuss that a little bit in another video perhaps. And then we put it in the Pinecone database. But just so you can see these services. So this is Llama Index, so this is what you're looking for. And this is just a very simple API. You send them the document, they send you back some past data. And then this is Pinecone, which is a vector database. And both of these have been free for this demo. So this is basically how we store the data, but I'm not going to talk so much about that today. Let's do a quick demo of this graph. I have some test queries here. So let's do a quick demo and then we'll go and have a look at some code. So we have this query here, make it a bit bigger on my screen. According to the SEU annual report, what was the average cost and duration of an evaluation in 2023? So whilst this is working through this flow, I'm actually going to look over here and see, if I can find that. I'm just going to stop playing around with the screen until it gives me an answer. Now obviously I've tested this before, but who knows if it's going to give us the right answer here. The reason why this step is taking a little bit long, it is meant to be done in parallel, but because of some sort of settings on my local machine, it's not doing that right now. So I'm just going to move my face up here. And you can see here it's saying the average cost and valuation 2023 was 36,000 euros. Because I've done this before, I know that's correct. So yeah, that's correct. So let's see what's actually happened here. We've given it a question. We've analyzed that question and we've decided how should this question be answered. So for example, if I asked it how do you cook pasta, it wouldn't have decided to go and do all of this research. Once it's said, like, yes, this is type MSF, let's go and do some research, then we create a research plan. Access the report, look for specific sessions on evaluation metrics, summarize the finding. So that's really cool, and that's actually an LLM run, so we could go and have a look at this if we wanted to, and sure, let's do that. Actually, yeah, okay, we're here now. So you're a humanitarian knowledge worship, blah, 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 blah. Based on the conversation so far, create a short plan, and then it sort of knows what types of reports and studies I'm going to get. Yeah, and then it creates this plan. Very cool. Then it goes and conducts some research, and in these research steps, it's also has this prompt: generate 3 to 6 diverse search queries you would run against the humanitarian document corpus, yada yada yada, and then it goes and it creates a bunch of different queries that I'm going to put into the vector database, and then it does these for the different research topics, pulls all that vector data into one place, and then passes that to this LLM here, which then has, all of the different documents. So yeah, that's the demo. Let's go and have a look at some code. So let's start with, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this to the side so that we can see the graph over here at the same time as we're looking at the nodes here. So we can see analyze root query, that's here. Ask for more info and respond to general query. Those are these nodes just down here, which sort of capture those questions that cannot be answered or need some more information. And then we have create research plan, conduct research, which is actually another graph, and then respond. So if we go to analyze and root query, so what we're doing here is we're passing in the sort of chat history so far, and depending on the content, we want to classify this as MSF, more info, or general. And we can have a look at the prompt here as well. So that's this prompt here. So you can see we set it up, tell it sort of who you are. Your job is to locate answers inside our internal document corpus. A colleague will come to you with an inquiry, and your first job is to classify it. And then we give it some examples for more info. We give it some examples if it looks like we want to go and look through the internal resources. And then we have some sort of general response as well. So this is the router system prompt for the analyze root query. Once we've done that, we then route the query to the next node. So it should be going to create research plan node, ask for more info node, or respond to general query node. So let's assume that we're going to go and create a research plan. And so we'll jump down to that. So now we're down here. And as we saw before, what we're going to do is we're going to load the questions. We're going to go and get the research plan prompt, and then we're going to make the call to the LLM and get the structured output, which is the plan. And so let's have a look at that prompt. research plan prompt. And I think we already sort of discussed this a little bit before, but you can see here, you are a humanitarian knowledge specialist and world-class researcher. Colleagues may ask about evaluations, medical guidelines, context analysis, and other internal material. So you can see here, I've been like quite specific about these within these prompts. And because I know the type of material that I've put into this vector database and I have some sort of idea about this world, I've been able to be very specific about the types of queries that I want it to perform. And that's quite good. To be honest, how I generate these is I just go to ChatGPT and I say, like, here's the types of material that I have. These are the types of questions that I might be answering. I want to create some queries. Can you act like a prompt engineer and sort of give me some suggested prompts, and then yada yada. And of course, this is just for demo purposes, but over time you would want to, given the right evaluation set, you would work on these prompts one by one to make sure that you're getting better and better. So that is this step. We have to create a research plan, and then we want to conduct research. Now this actually takes another entire graph and puts that in, so we can go and have a look at that as well. So this is a very simple graph. Generate the queries and then retrieve the documents. And they have some prompts back over here as well. And we saw that one before, that prompt before. So in this case, we generate the queries that have been defined by that previous research plan, and then we go through and we retrieve the documents in parallel. But because the way that it's working on my local machine right now, it doesn't do it in parallel, so it's a little bit slower. So this is this is a sort of a basic RAG graph, a basic like retrieval graph. And then the next step, we do the final prompt. So if we come back here, then we do the respond prompt, and this is where it all comes together. We take in all of the documents that have been returned, and we ask it to answer the question. So the response prompt. Given you are a humanitarian expert knowledge assistant, generate a clear and accurate answer, and we also give it some citations rules. So after every factual sentence or bullet, tell me where you got it from in the page. If you use multiple citations, tell me all of them. So this is really important for if you were to use such an internal database like this. You would want to be able to go and fact check. Something I spent a little bit too much time doing, which is potentially a waste of time, is I spent a lot of time trying to add page to the metadata in the vector database. And going back, I probably wouldn't try and do that because it's kind of difficult to get that page number correct anyway. And also, in most PDFs or most documents, you can just search for the phrasing. But yeah, what my goal was here was to try and show that you can look up particular phrasing and it'll show you the report and then the page straight away, so that you can just go and find the information. So that's the code. It's not very, very difficult code, but it's quite effective. Another thing that I wanted to show was that I gave it a few documents and I said, like, give me a bunch of test questions and why these test questions might be interesting. So I think this one is quite a nice one. So give me 3 concrete examples of how risk management was handled differently in these 2 evaluations. So let's go and try this. So we'll just create a new thread. Oh, I wish that worked. So now it's clearly an internal document. It's created a research plan. It's one thing that I love about Langsmith or LangGraph Studio is that you can go in here and like see what's happening on the way. So review both the summaries of these 2 evaluations, good. Evaluate available risk management frameworks within these 2 evaluations, good. And now it's giving me this outcome here. And you can see that it's eval 2023, eval 2023. It seems like it's all coming from a single document. Let's have a look at these documents. Eval Kiamba. Yeah, I'm not sure that it's giving me the right outcomes here, but let's go and have a look at the LLM run. Yeah, it might be eval cost. Yeah. It has a lot of different. So what I'm looking at here, or what I'm looking for rather, Langsmith freaked out a little bit there. What I'm curious about is the citations here seem a little bit off. So I was trying to explore what's going on there. So something seems a little bit off with these citations. So that would be an example of somewhere where I would go and look into it a little bit and sort of see what data the LLM is getting and see if I can fix that prompt to make sure that it's actually giving me the citations that it's using from within this document structure. Because, and I'll try and do that one more time because I think this could be an interesting demonstration. So you can see here it's getting this once, this annual evaluation once, but the rest of them seem to be these other documents which I would expect. So, and if we copy and paste, like, for example, intersectional setup evaluation. Yeah. Nah, maybe it's not going to be too hard to do now. But anyway, that's what I would go do. I would go and try and check what's happening to make sure that I'm getting the right answers there. But let's try another one. Let's try... Which evaluations in 2023 addressed conflict and violence? Yeah, obviously it's not the most friendly topic, these sorts of things, but this is an important part of the world, I suppose. Let's take this. Give 2 lessons on stakeholder engagement from the Kayambu handover. Okay. Oops. Let's see. Maybe I'll move myself up here. let's go and try and find this actual document and see. Oh, so this was a the Kayambu handover. Consolidating learning and insights after a second project visit. So it should be able to 2 lessons on stakeholder engagement. I wonder if there's like a conclusions or lessons learnt down the bottom that we can try and go and have a look at. Early engagement of all stakeholders. Okay, and you can see here that it's getting this evaluation step right, and it's actually got some page numbers here. So we've got page 24 and 118. So let's jump over here and go to page 24. And I'm going to look for early engagement of stakeholders. And it might be on 23. Yeah, I can see. Let's just look for stakeholders on another page. Yeah, I can see where this text is coming from. So this is pretty cool. This is correct. I would say, looking at least this first paragraph is correct. So it's been able to sort of correctly identify the document that we're looking for, and then it's gone into that document and got like a fairly big section. I can see this section goes over 2 pages, and then it sort of brought that information together and answered the question. So this is pretty cool. I'm unsure if this was a good demonstration, to be honest, because it's a bit of a and maybe sort of niche topic, but it's probably not as enjoyable for a lot of people. But I think this just shows that what I wanted to show is that, one, you can potentially do some good in the world with these kinds of tools, and 2 is that you can take like very, very abstract information, put it together, and all of a sudden you can get some insights or answer some questions or help people outside of your organization understand what's going on. But yeah, I think that's all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I'm happy to help. If you have any suggestions on some demonstrations or some more videos you'd like me to create, please reach out. And yeah, I'm really enjoying making these videos. I'm trying to make one a week, and I can see that I've already got over 100 subscribers, so I'm truly grateful, and I hope this continues to be helpful. At the moment, I'm sort of starting off on this bottom level of projects and just sort of trying to develop some sort of interest from people out there and to show people how easy some of these things are to create. And then over time, what I want to do is start working on more business related content and how you can build tools for your business and build tools for other people's businesses and build your own businesses and this kind of thing, because I think this is what I'm quite passionate about, and how I think the world is going to change and going to evolve over time. So a little spiel to end off, but thank you so much for watching, and look forward to next time. Bye now.